may be seated. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Chatfield Public Schools, I welcome you to the 144th Chatfield High School graduation ceremony. Today, we officially confer upon this fine group of seniors the title of graduate. Today, the class of 2024 finishes a chapter in their lives that started 13 years ago. Tomorrow, they will begin a new one, full of promise, hope, and opportunity. I want to thank the school district staff, parents, and Chatfield community for all you have done to support these students. To the seniors, thank you for your leadership, achievements, work ethic, kindness, and humor. You have represented yourselves and Chatfield well. Be proud that you are forever a Gopher. Each year, I like to offer our graduates some final advice. Seniors, as you go forward, spend your time wisely and in ways that bring joy and betterment to others, because time will only go faster from this point. Just ask the honored class of 1989, to whom I extend a special welcome. The class of 1989 would tell you that it does not seem long ago that they were seated where you are now, waiting to walk across the stage. For them, it's hard to believe that 35 years has passed so quickly. In 1989, I was 19 years old. That year, the internet was invented, the first episode of The Simpsons aired, Nintendo released the Game Boy, the Berlin Wall came down, scrunchies and big hair were in, and Nirvana released their debut album. For you graduates, those things seem like ancient history. But trust me, when you are the honored class in 2059, things like TikTok, Fortnite, and Stanley's will seem long gone, but will still seem like a fresh memory to you. American poet Henry Longfellow said, "Time is fleeting." So don't wait to make a difference, and seek what fills your heart, because there is no more empty feeling than the regret of wasted time. So take what you have learned and go forward with passion and purpose. So when you are here 35 years from now as the honor class, you can look back with a heart full of pride rather than regret. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2024.
First of all, I'm Shirley Erickson, graduated in 1989. I want to say congratulations to the class of 2024. It's a day of hope, excitement, and opportunity. So seize the day and make it the most that you can. We were the class that started the tradition of the Florida trip. And so we're pretty proud of some of our accomplishments that we had when we were seniors in 1989. Some local things that happened in 1989 in Chatfield, Minnesota. The Quick Trip was built, not the current one, but the one before that. And there was huge discussion about whether we should have a one-way near that Quick Trip or not. And as you can see, that did not happen. And Mill Creek Park was expanded in 1989. And it's a beautiful park now, and a wonderful place to go. So with that, I will be saying the names of my classmates, and when I say their name, they will stand up, and then they will sit down. So, the class of 1989, Richie Allen, Sharon Allen Vandewalker, Shirley Allen Erickson, I'm right here, Benita Amundsen Glassford, Dana Amy, Jesse Arnold, Jody Arnold Rhodes, Jason Bergen, Darren Bessing-Pass, Dan Blezick, Chris Buthan-Nice, Mark Branham, Jane Campion, Miriam Carlillo, Lisa Coatman Armstrong, Pat Cunningham, Chris Daninger, William Drugmiller, Kyle Ebner, Matt Elder, Eileen Erickson Erke, Jamie Fay, Mickey Ferguson Breeze, Chad Glazer, Chris Goldsmith, Christine Greenlee Kramer, Gunnar Gunderson, Dan Halloran, Pat Hanley, Dwayne Hanson, Sarah Hanson Kuyat, Tammy Hanson McKinney, Chris Hepteen, Jenny Hokinson Davies, Noreen Horseman Minter, Uli Holzman, Katie Hughes, Eric Irish, Jody Irish Bosma, Chuck Jager, Tom Janet, Daryl Jeck, Laura Jenkins Lawyer. Sorry about that. Gary Julian, Lance Krensky, Sherry Krosh Irish, Terry Larimer, Jackie Manahan Plosh, Kathy McCabe Thompson, Molly McMonigal Padmore, Denise Meyer Wheelock, Tom Nice, Brenda Nelson Schradel, Dawn Nolan Nelson, Jen Owens Clemens, Suzette Pease Rowan, Mike Raby, Kelly Reynolds, Rhonda Sample Fishbacher, Amy Chef Verma, Carla Severson Green, Debbie Spitzer Eckhart, Dustin Stenberg, Wanda Stenberg, Jenny Steffes Knutson, Julie Steffes Matheson, Sally Stoppel, David Tiki, Mike Toohey, Jennifer Weiss Stavland, Amy Welch Konigs, Mark Wentz, Robbie Woltz, Tabitha Warden Spandy. And the ones that are no longer with us, Steve Brott, Heidi Ellis, Brian Getke, Eric King, Butch Kosnoffel, and Jamie Turner.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes us
Welcome parents, guests, and the respective classes of 1989 and 2024. Today is a day to celebrate the achievements and hard work of everyone in this room. Countless hours of hard work and hard love have got us to this enormous first step. We've seen many classes come before us, and suddenly now it's our turn. Earlier this year, each of the seniors got to choose a quote for the yearbook, and I settled on a quote by Billy Joel. It's a simple lyric from his song Vienna, which some of you might know. When will you realize Vienna waits for you? Vienna is a metaphor that tells us to save something for our future. We will leave today ready to conquer the world and achieve all we can, but we must remember we need to slow down, stop and smell the roses, save something for our golden years, because you still need a purpose. After all, as Billy Joel reminds us, you can't be everything before your time. And how quick our time together has been. Time is fleeting. Not long ago, we were in preschool classes learning how to tie our shoes and go down the slide the right way. And soon we were conquering Punnett squares and algebra and learning about Mesopotamia. Whether you consider your time here at Chatfield to have gone by at a snail's pace or really quickly, this is simply our beginning. In the story of us, the story of our life, this is our prologue. The part the author includes to provide a foundation for the rest of the tale. Every day of our lives have been consumed by our desires and our goals in high school, but after today, that's water under the bridge. Sitting around campfires and church coffee tables, I often hear someone's life tale begin with the phrase, after high school graduation, or even after college graduation. I can confidently say the best is yet to come. And how can I not be hopeful? We're a cast of characters ready to choose our own adventures. After high school graduation, we can go out in life and make all our decisions for ourselves without anyone else advising us what to do. Leave today with a sense of optimism. Your teachers, friends, projects, and tests have all prepared you for the world. You have been raised by a community that loved and nurtured you. It wasn't all for nothing. Today might be the last day you see some of your childhood friends, but perhaps we'll meet again in the epilogue and swap stories. Life is blink and you miss it. Remember to look at the faces around you and appreciate the experience. Live in the moment, because there is only so many hours in the day. It is not your accolades that measure your success, but it is the people you inspire, love, and care for. These past 12 years were merely a blip in the grand scheme of the story of your life. Before you know it, your story will be up, and you'll be reaching your last chapter. Make sure your story is a worthwhile read. Make it a bestseller. And if you don't want to listen to me, listen to Ferris Bueller. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you might miss it. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm Henry. And I'm giving a speech today, which I admittedly probably should have practiced a little more for, but I'm up here now, so no time for that. So, we've all kind of heard that stuff about the next chapter, and we're going into the world, and that's all really good stuff, but I want to take a minute to kind of recognize, this is the end of something, right? What's happened here? This is a high school, all this has been a very big part of our lives, so that's very exciting. I think one of the perks of being at a small school, as I've gotten to know all of my classmates, I know everyone's first, last name, I know everybody, everybody knows each other. And it's really interesting as we've gotten older to see my classmates age and to see like who they've grown into, the people they've become, what they plan on doing with their lives and what they've already accomplished, It's kind of weird to think about that I might never really see any of these people ever again. And that's kind of a weird thing to think about because this is like the group of people that I've grown up with. I've seen like pretty much every day. And now that's kind of over. Which is a little bittersweet. Well, I wouldn't say bittersweet. That would imply that it's like got good in it. The next, I want to say thank you to, parents, give them their flowers. If any of you parent or guardians out there haven't already been told, thank you for everything. Like, genuinely, all of the help with assignments, giving rides to practices, all of the things that come with being a parent. I'm pretty sure I speak for everybody when I say that I don't think any of us would be here without you guys, so thank you, really. It's kind of weird, my relationship with my parents. Well, my relationship with my parents isn't weird. But as I've gotten older and I've, matured a little bit, I've gotten to notice my parents aging, Which isn't a bad thing, but it kind of makes me, to see them as they get older, and, I think, they were once where I am now in life, and I will be where they are one day in life. It's a weird thing to put about or to think about. I don't really know how to put it into words other than it just kind of really frames how time passes. My dad has told me all these stories about when he was growing up, and he was doing the same stuff I'm doing. And I'm sure if I have kids someday, they'll probably be doing the same stuff I was doing now, for better or for worse. You think about it too. We've been high school's 4 years, and you think 4 years isn't that long of a time, but it's such a crucial part of our lives. I look back to who I was 4 years ago versus who I am now, and I'm a completely different person. I look different, I think different, I act different. So while 4 years isn't a long time, these are maybe some of the most important 4 years that we'll have lived in our lives as far as turning us into who we are going to be out in the real world. And of course, I'd like to thank the wonderful staff here because I don't think we would have made it or been who we are if it weren't for them. I know teaching isn't always the easiest at times. I guess maybe it is, I'm not a teacher, but I would assume it's got its challenges. No, but really, I appreciate my teachers. They showed up every day, and they treated my classmates and I like real people, and they would make connections with us. Not everything is school related. Talk to them about how's your life. Yeah. So thank you, staff. Really, you've made these 4 years here really incredible. So yeah. So I remember the night before my first day of 8th grade. My dad and I were sitting in the living room on the floor with the lights off. And he told me that the next years of my life were going to go pretty quick and I should enjoy them. And, I was like 12 or 13, so I was like, okay, dude, whatever. He was telling me about this and how, trying to get me to understand, but, it wasn't getting anywhere. And he tells me about, as he's gotten older, his favorite part's about seeing me and my siblings getting older, like like I was mentioning earlier, how we reminded him of himself when he was younger. And he told me that he was hanging on by my coattails, you know, like he was getting to almost like relive that part of his life, you know, by seeing me, you know, which is something that didn't really, I didn't get it, but that conversation has always stuck with me. And now that I'm a little older, it makes a little more sense. And so this broader view of life that I've grown to come to viewing, I've really been able to understand myself and people around me more. And maybe some of the best lessons I've learned from being here have been to, you know, treat everyone with kindness, hold yourself accountable for things, and always strive to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And with that, it's a beautiful day in the Chosen Valley, everybody.
Our guest speaker today is Matthew J. Opat. Matt is a native of Northeast Iowa, having graduated from Crestwood High School in Cresco, Iowa in 1970. He attended the University of Iowa and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1974. Matt attended Hamlin Law School and graduated with a Juris Doctorate degree in 1977. He then joined Marvin Olrog in his private law practice in Chatfield on November 1st, 1977. He continued with the private practice of law in Chatfield for approximately 35 years until June 28, 2013, when he was sworn in as a Minnesota District Court judge in the 3rd Judicial District. Matt served as a District Court judge chambered in Fillmore County until retiring on November 30, 2022, after reaching the mandatory retirement age of 70. He now serves as a senior district court judge for Minnesota. In 2022, the Minnesota State Bar Association presented Matt with the Award of Professional Excellence in recognition of his outstanding efforts to advocate the legal profession and the administration of justice. Matt and his wife, Teresa, have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. They have lived in and had been friends of the Chatfield community for 46 years. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Matt Opat.
Good afternoon and thank you. Superintendent Harris, Principal Nelson, Mr. Keefe, faculty members, honored class of 1989, graduation class of 2024, family, friends, and guests. It is my personal pleasure and privilege to give the address for this year's graduation ceremony. I have watched this class of students over the years and want to commend them on their academic, athletic, and community achievements. I'm especially honored to give this year's commencement address, as one of the graduates is a relative of mine. I'm not going to name that person, but I am truly honored to have been engaged by the school to give this year's address. Graduates, I realize that I am now the only thing standing between you and receiving the diploma that you have strived for over the years. I've also been given the daunting task of following Nick and Henry. However, during the time that I have, I would like to share with you some of the things that I've learned over my 71 years of life. My life experiences come from being raised in a farm family, graduating from college with a history and law degree, practicing as a lawyer, then as a judge. It also comes from being a husband, a parent, a grandfather, and an active member of this community. I want to talk to you today about what I believe are 5 important senses that you should think about as you move forward in life. Now, I know that you have heard about the 5 senses of the body, being sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. They are important, as we'll discuss later. But I want to talk to you about what I believe to be 5 important senses. The first sense that I want to talk to you about is common sense. The philosopher Voltaire, back in 1700, said, "Common sense is not so common anymore." Well, if Voltaire was alive today, he would probably make the same observation. What is common sense? The dictionary defines common sense as the ability to think and behave in a reasonable way and to make good decisions. Common sense is also defined as sound, practical judgment concerning everyday matters, or a basic ability to perceive, understand, and judge in a manner that is shared by nearly all people. Class of 2024, I challenge you to exercise common sense as you go forward in your daily lives. Make decisions in life based upon what you have learned and what you have experienced. Be decisive, overcome fear, develop perspective, gain experience, learn to reflect, keep it simple, face reality. Common sense is not something that can really be taught, but is largely built around our experiences and those of others. Author Roy H. Williams alleges that a smart man makes a mistake, learns from it, and never makes that mistake again. A wise man finds a smart man and learns from him how to avoid the mistake altogether. It is now more important than ever that your decisions in life be based on what is now being described as critical thinking. You live in a world that is inundating you with information. It is readily available to you on your phones. Artificial intelligence is blurring the line between what is fact and what is fiction. You should not take or accept the information you are receiving at face value. You should question, analyze, interpret, evaluate, and make a judgment about what you read, hear, say, or write. One aspect of common sense may be what your parents have instilled in you over the years. Even after you leave home, I suspect that what your parents have said to you in the past will be passing through your brain as you make future decisions. I also know many of your grandparents. I suspect they also have shared with you some pearls of wisdom over the years. Keep in mind what they have shared with you. Do not be afraid to ask for advice or help. Class of 2024, again, I challenge you, exercise common sense in your daily life. The next sense I want to talk to you about is horse sense. You may have heard the phrase, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Well, that may be because the horse has sense there is something wrong with the water. The definition of horse sense is the ability to make good judgments and decisions. God gave you a body and incorporated within it the 5 bodily senses that I talked about earlier. Use those senses to help you make the right decisions in life. There are many references to our bodies in making decisions, like that breaks my heart, that makes my head spin, that makes my stomach turn, follow your gut instincts, avoid knee-jerk reactions, follow the rule of thumb, getting cold feet, and the dreaded putting your foot in your mouth. Listen to your body when you make decisions in life. Use your God-given abilities and senses. Make the decision that is right for you. Keep in mind that alcohol and illicit drugs can mask what your body is telling you. Make the choice that is right for you based upon all your senses, what your body is telling you, what you have learned and experienced. The third sense I want to talk to you about, and I'm going to take some liberty with the word sense, because I want to talk to you about dollars and cents. I'm going to tell you 2 things you're probably not going to want to hear. First, Santa's elves only make toys for little boys and little girls. Secondly, if you want big boy toys and big girl toys, if you want a house and family and other important things in life, you are going to have to work for them. There are people in this world who believe that work is a four-letter word and should be avoided. I am here to tell you that is nonsense. Work can and should be an important part of your life, right along with family. I'm a firm believer that one of the great attributes that parents can teach their children is how to work and to build a healthy work ethic. I'm reminded of the saying, "The dream does not work if you do not." I know that this class knows about big dreams and hard work. During the winter months, I walk the halls of this school before school starts for exercise. For entertainment, I get a chance to read all the posters, the signs, and the banners in the hallways. This year in the entryway to the school was a sign with the Chatfield wrestling mascot on it and the words, "Small Town, Big Dreams." Due to a lot of hard work by members of this class and others, the dream of a state team wrestling championship was brought back to this small town. But such a dream was not something new for your class. Members of this class were also part of Chatfield's 2021 state championship football team and the 2022 state championship runner-up team. In addition, members of your class were part of the girls softball program that were state champions in 2022. And in the track program, they finished third in state in the 2023 Girls True Team State Track Championship. Some of you were members of the speech team that placed third in state in 2022 and 2023. Recently, some of you were members of the Rube Goldberg team that finished second in the nation. Individually, hard work and leadership skills shown by members of your class during your high school years have resulted in academic and athletic awards received, including National Honor Society, AAA Award, the Athena Award, All-Conference Honors in Sports, place winners at various state competitions, including a state boys wrestling champion, a state runner-up in girls wrestling, a state speech champion, a Minnesota All-Star softball player. You have also received awards as part of FFA, band, drama, just to name a few of your accomplishments. Graduates, I've been impressed by the leadership and hard work shown by this class in academics, sports, and also within our community. Leaders lead from the front, and members of this class have stepped forward and shown their leadership. I recently heard the saying, "Talent will make you good. Attitude and hard work will make you great." This class is a strong example of that. Frankly, class of 2024, this world needs you and your work skills and your leadership skills. In particular, my generation, the baby boomers, need you, and I'll give you 3 reasons why. First, as my generation is aging and retiring, your generation is needed to fill in and take over the businesses, farms, and occupations that are being vacated. It is once again time for you to come off the bench and replace the seniors. Secondly, the baby boomer generation will need a generation of caretakers who will take care of us in hospitals, medical clinics, nursing homes, and elderly living communities. Be kind and gentle as you care for us. If at any point in caring for us you get the impression that we are old fuddy-duddies, I would like you to do 2 things. The first is to talk to your grandfather and ask to look at his high school graduation picture. My hunch is that he had longer hair at his graduation than some of you do today. We did not always have this going on and look like this. The next thing I want to do is to talk to your grandmother. My hunch is that under her graduation gown, she was wearing a miniskirt. Yes, much to our parents' dismay, we broke the mold and set a trend for which you should be thankful. Thirdly, and to be brutally honest, we need you to work to pay into Social Security to assure that our generation keeps getting our Social Security checks. If that doesn't happen, remember that long-haired grandfather and miniskirt grandmother I was telling you about? Guess what? Those hipsters are moving in with you to take care of them. Now, if that thought is not enough to get you out of bed in the morning and get to work, I don't know what will. I'm reminded of the saying that if you find a job that you love, you will not work a day in your life. However, graduates, you are living in a changing world. I want you to keep in mind that it's estimated that 80% of the top jobs in the market today did not exist when you were born. You will need to be flexible and be prepared to try new things. But graduates, I know that you know how to be flexible and resilient and that you know how to take on challenges. I know that because the graduating classes of 2024 across this country are being recognized as the class of COVID. This class entered high school as freshmen in the fall of 2020, after the COVID pandemic was declared in the spring of 2020. As COVID was accelerating, schools were staying closed. This class was tossed into a high school experience like no other, one that forced students into a new kind of isolation, one that demanded focus on remote learning and Zoom classes, while dances, band practice, sports, and other traditions of high school life evaporated. You experienced self-discipline, distancing, and masking, and grief over the loss of opportunities and the loss of loved ones. Still, in that struggle, you seniors found a way to push ahead. You took on the challenges that the adults in this world laid upon you. How you made it to this point, your graduation, is a story and legacy of flexibility and resilience. In fact, I believe the legacy of this class is not necessarily the academic or athletic achievements that you attained, but the flexibility and resilience that you showed in the midst of the pandemic in attaining those achievements and your education. Graduates, those attributes will serve you well in the future. The fourth sense of life that I want to talk to you about is presence. I'm not talking about the presents that you get for your birthday or for Christmas. I'm talking about you being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Frankly, this world is run by those who show up and who show up on time. Whether it's at work, meetings, or with your family, be there in mind and body and on time. Be there and be ready to go before you are expected to be there. Step up to the challenges that you are going to face in your life and meet them head on while exercising common sense and horse sense in a timely manner. Be there mentally and physically for your family and friends and for yourself. The fifth sense of life that I want to discuss is sense of community. Wherever you go in this world, get involved in the community that you live in. Participate in associations, organizations, and community events because they are excellent opportunities for networking, personal and business growth, and simply connecting with interesting new people. This is important for your emotional and social well-being, as well as that of your family, friends, and community. Graduates, I know that you have seen, as I have, posters located in the school hallway by the lockers. One states, a Harvard study found that 99% of your success depends upon one thing: who you associate with. I also know that you're familiar with the quote from Mahatma Gandhi that is on the Service Club bulletin board in the hallway as you come into the school. That quote is as follows: "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." A great way to find good, positive, and interesting people in your life and to serve others is by volunteering in your community. Again, whether it's by joining civic organizations, becoming scout or 4-H leaders, getting involved with your church, getting involved in your city by joining the volunteer fire department, becoming an EMT, or being on the city's council, or becoming a member of the local school board. You'll find good and interesting people that will allow you to succeed in life. I challenge you to make this world a better place by your involvement and investment of your time as a service to humanity and to your community. I know some of you have already accepted this challenge. I have observed members of your class volunteering in church, at community events, and in your school. I recently observed firsthand one of your members, accompanied by her grandparents, giving blood at the local Red Cross blood drive for her first time. I encourage you to keep up the good work, and I challenge those of you who have not volunteered to begin to do so. My last comment on sense of community is to not forget about the community here in Chatfield that has raised you and has given you so much. I ask sincerely that you consider staying in or returning to this community to work and live and raise your families. This community needs you. Class of 2024, my common sense tells me that I have now talked long enough. My horse sense is telling me that I have stood long enough. I appreciate the opportunity to be present with you today. Now, before you go out into this world to work and to make some dollars and cents and to volunteer your time, I sense this community wants to celebrate your accomplishment. Graduates, in closing, I want you to keep in mind as you go forth in this world what I have discussed with you today. Also keep in mind the 6 Gopher characteristics you learned as a Chatfield Gopher: gratitude, optimism, perseverance, helpfulness, education, and respect. Lastly, remember your class motto: opportunities don't happen, you make them. I thank you for this opportunity, and I wish you all the best of luck in the future, and extend to you my sincere congratulations on your graduation. This is your day. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today you've heard a lot about this remarkable group of women and men and their accomplishments. Their success has made their families, their school, and their community so proud. This class of 2024 is a collection of wonderful young adults. In a few moments, we'll celebrate their individual accomplishments as they walk across this stage. Graduates, you successfully navigated the coursework and requirements set forth by our district and the state of Minnesota. You've developed skills and habits that you'll carry forth with you. I hope that you've been listening to these other speakers as they've given you such wise advice. I'm going to share a couple more things. Now, after you're done with all this, comes the tough part. Moving forward, regardless of what your next step might be, you're now responsible for demonstrating your work ethic, your morality, your civic participation, and your ability to prepare for an uncertain future. You will need to be responsible spouses, parents, employees, leaders, and citizens. You're entering a post-high school world that will shift in the coming years, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad. Wages have increased a great deal during your lifetime, but these increases have been largely offset by a period of high inflation. Other than a few temporary dips, unemployment has been historically low since you were born. You're entering an attractive job market where employees are hard to find and job seekers hold a lot of power. Please understand that this will change. It may be next year, it may be 5 years from now, but these things are cyclical. At some point, there will not be jobs for everyone.
When this occurs, the skills and habits that you have brought into adulthood will be likely to be really key for your successfully navigating that stage in your life. So make sure that you do the little things that separate you from others. Don't settle for doing the minimum. As Judge Opat said, for gosh sakes, show up and be on time because attendance matters. Tough times will come, so be prepared. But you have the right skills and the right habits to put you in a great position. Finally, put down your phone. Phones are only filled with images of other people's lives. Let them have their lives, especially since most of what they're posting by influencers and things like that is artificial anyway. Instead, travel and celebrate and laugh. Be happy and enjoy the great times in your lives. I wish you nothing but the best. Now for the official part of this address, I would love for the class to please rise. But before we do that, there is a lot of people out sitting behind you, and I would like you to please turn around and offer an appreciation for those people that have got you to this point. Thank you. Superintendent Harris and Chatfield Board Member Keefe, this group of 68 remarkable women and men have satisfied all of the requirements of the state of Minnesota and Chatfield Public Schools and are deserving of a diploma from Chatfield High School. It gives me great pleasure to present to you Chatfield High School's class of 2024. We will now present diplomas to the class. I ask that you please limit your applause until we've read the names of each speaker. It would be most unfortunate if someone's name was drowned out by the family and friends of another student. Thank you. Graduates in rows 2, 3, and 4 may be seated.
Corey Casti Aris. Nathan Gordon Allen. Alec Curtis Armstrong. Taylor Marie Osk. Callan Ordell Backer. Kylie Sue Baldner. Kaylin Grace Barnhart. Gage Bentley Bartels. Chloe Augusta Berg. Jacqueline Ray Bernard. Caden Bertram Boyum. Ty Robert Kane. Lane Allen Clemens. Katie May Cocker. Annika Siena Guadalupe Contreras Flores. Landon Ross Croson. Ana Othelia De Silva. Lauren Ray Daniels. Parker James Delaney. Jack Carter Dornack. Mackenzie Hope Douglas. Ruby Jean Evans. Braden Ryan Fretlin. Tyler James Glindinsky. Evie Sue Goldsmith. Bjorn Isidore Guzman. Mary Catherine Helverson. Alexis Lorraine Henry. Alexis Ann Hinckley. Shane William Hitchcock. Braylee Elizabeth Horseman. Braden Dwayne Horseman. What do you do? Anna Louisa Johnson. Colton Paul Johnson.
William Scott Kester. Annika Sue Kirchner. Kira Rose Cobes. Caitlin Rose Kriedemacher. Charlie Faith Larson. Bastian Lieb. Rylan Jeffrey Lindelin. Nicholas Donald Long. Nevada Lee Leak. Caitlin Rose Lumen. Claudia Rose Meyer. Mariana Grace Miron. Miles Mitchell Mulhern. Arvin Nee. Cole Donald Novotny. Kayla Marie Novotny. Devin Levine Reinhardt. Eliana May Ruskell. Jonathan Ariano Sanchez. Bria Marie Schlink. Carter Robert Schlink. Kieran Scott Schmaltz. Daisy Annette Schoenfelder. Ethan McClare Schoenfelder. Trevor Neil Schoenfelder. Kalen Grant Schott. Skylar K. Sherman. Katrina Marie Slauson. Lucius Isaiah Thompson. Carson Robert Volz. Jack Patrick Volker. Jocelyn Grace Wilson. Henry Vandor Warden.
Well, congratulations, all of you. Henry is our class president, and if you would all please stand again. He is going to lead you in your tassel flip. So, Henry. Yay! You may be seated for just a second. I want to thank everybody for coming this afternoon. We're going to be proceeding out the door and then going through the school. We will be happy to and excited to see everybody out at the bell. If folks enter either of the, or exit through either of those doors and then out the front door, just look to your left and the bell is there. Our seniors will each have a chance to ring the bell, and we'll do a hat toss and take lots of pictures. And again, thank you all for coming. You guys have put them in this position, and we do appreciate it. Thank you.